Hey YouTube, thank you so much for checking out this video. For those of you that don't know us, I'm Trish.
I'm Jose.
We're with Just Dance, and in this video series, we're gonna be giving you tips to improve your posture, frame, connection, musicality, and technique in the common patterns of American Tango. And in this video, we're gonna be doing posture, frame, technique, and musicality of the Corte. So let's go ahead and get to it.
All right, so first we're going to demonstrate the Corte and then go into posture.
All right, so we're in closed position, and we have slow, slow, quick, quick, slow. And we're going to do it from this angle. Just keep this way. Slow, slow, quick, quick, slow. And we're going to do it from this view as well. Slow, slow, quick, quick, slow. All right, so first up is our posture. So I'm going to start with actually talking about the leaders, and then I will talk about how that how the followers will react to whatever the leader is doing as far as creating space. So one of the biggest things that I see leaders do when they do the Corte is they either overlead it or they don't move enough. So I'm going to talk about what is just right for this pattern. So facing this way, that way you can see my hips better. Check the description below to go more into detail on the posture, but remember you want to have your blocks of weight stacked to begin with. So we're standing in a nice tall position with our knees slightly flexed. Leaders, you're going to take a step back, and when you step back, you want to take your hips away from the follower. So notice both Jose and I are mirroring each other right now. We're taking our hips away from where our partner would be, which is going to give the lady or follower space to step into you. So what we want to avoid is leaning over. We also want to avoid staying too straight and leaning back. Okay, so when you step back, your foot's going to rotate about 1/8 of a turn to your left, and the hips are going to pull away as if you're reaching for a chair. Okay, but at the same time, I'm still thinking of lengthening my spine, and at this point, I'm also looking at my follower. So when I return back to my right foot, leaders, my head will go back to the left. So as I step back, I'm going to look right and take my hips away. And then as I step forward, I look left and come back to a neutral position. Now the reaction that the follower will have when the leader pulls their hips away is they're going to be able to bring their hips to the leader, which is going to cause this nice shape in their back where they can stretch into that lunge. But if the leader is too straight, then the follower is going to come straight. Or if the leader is leaning too much, it's going to cause us to bend too far back, and we will be very uncomfortable. So we're going to demonstrate that for you slowly, just the position. So we're in our closed position. Jose's going to step back and give me space by pulling the hips away, and I'm going to be able to take my hips forward, which is going to give us both space and balance. So right now, Jose could let go of me. I am completely balanced on my own foot. He is completely balanced on his. So because he gave me the space I need to create the shape, I am able to do my step with balance and control. I'm not relying on him, and he's also not pushing or pulling me either. So again, followers, you want to really focus on taking your hips towards your leader. We'll show you from this angle too. So you'll see that he's going to take his hips away as he steps back, and I can bring mine forward, and then we can return. So that is my tip on posture. Jose is going to talk a little bit about what the leader can do to help the follower in her stretch in the position.
So I'm going to talk about frame and what the leader can do to help what Trish just said, the follower to stretch. And this is in your right hand. So I'm going to demonstrate real quick. So what the leaders to do is to actually open up that hand to give the follower more room to stretch out and make that stretch a little more picture line.
Yeah, so he's actually taking this side of his hand and he's turning it. So if you can just hold your frame up for a second, leaders, and notice that you can turn your forearm forward and back without affecting your bicep to shoulder, okay? So we're just rotating. So the follower's job is to always stretch into your hand. So leaders, if you press the under part of your palm and pinky finger into the follower, it opens up your hand and gives them space to stretch into it. If you keep the hand straight, like Jose is about to do, he's gonna keep his hand straight as he steps back, I'm not going to have the same flexibility. But if he opens it, now I can really stretch back. Now, I'm not doing a back bend, ladies. When he does that, remember, I'm still focusing on taking my hips forward, and I'm also thinking of bending my knees more. So the more I bend my knees and take my hips forward, the more I can stretch backwards, as long as he's giving me that space by curving and rotating his hand. Okay, so the last thing that we're going to talk about, actually there's two more things. So the next thing we're going to talk about is the footwork for first the leader and then the follower.
Okay, so the one tip I have for the leaders is on that right foot, when you're stepping back into that lean, making sure not to release that foot up and to actually point that toe.
It just looks nice, okay? This is a picture line, so we want to make sure that it looks nice and we don't have ugly feet. Okay, and then followers, you're going to do the same. You're stepping into your partner with actually a heel lead. So when I step forward, I am leading with my heel. As I push off of my back foot here, I am pointing that toe. So both Jose and I are going to match in this line in that our extended leg, that toe is pointed. So no flexed feet. My foot is not flat. His is though. His foot's flat. Mine is pointed. My heel is off the ground. My leg is engaged. Okay? And then lastly, we're going to talk about musicality. So previously I have a video that talks about musicality in the basic and how our walks are delayed, meaning we're arriving on the 2, the 4, 5, and 6. But here, since we want to quickly get into our picture line so that we can hold it as long as possible, we're going to arrive quicker than we would in a basic step. So we're going to be arriving on the 1 and then the 3. So we have 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we'll show you that again from this angle. So we're going to quickly step on the 1. It's going to be very sudden. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we want to be nice and sharp so that we can be in the position quicker and really demonstrate a nice picture line for the full 2 beats rather than arriving later. All right, those are our tips. I'm going to go ahead and do a quick recap. We had about 4 different tips. So the first one, we talked about our posture. And with our posture, even though we're still maintaining our lengthened spine, the leader's focusing on pulling the hips back, followers focusing on taking their hips forward so that we can create a nice shape for this picture line.
And the second tip I talked about was opening that hand to give the follower more room to stretch for this picture line.
Yes, and then we talked about our footwork and making sure that we're creating nice shape with our feet by keeping the toes pointed in our extended legs. And then lastly, we talked about musicality, making sure that we arrive a little bit quicker in this step so that we can demonstrate a nice picture line, the corte, of course. And those were our tips for today. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, let us know in the comments below. And as always, hit the subscribe button so you can get notified on the videos we post on a regular basis.
And thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.